Good morning. It's day one of HECC 2024. Are we excited to be here?
Excited.
Oh, absolutely excited to be here. It's always a pleasure to come down here downtown Indianapolis, be in this beautiful facility. I know the camera doesn't do it justice, but the colors of the stained glass around here are amazing.
Beautiful. And we have great weather. I mean, in Indiana in November, you never know what it's going to be like, but boy, did we out this year.
You know, it's a little wet on the ground outside, but I've been to a few HECCs where it's a little deep outside, if you know what I mean. So I'll take a little bit of water over the snow any day.
Absolutely. Well, I'm Diana Knox. I'm one of the HECC board members, and I'm joined today by...
I'm Kurt Schleibaum. I'm also the co-host of the podcast this year. We're excited about that. And then we have Seth.
Yeah, I'm Seth Slater, president of HECC for 2024. Outgoing president now.
Hey, yeah, you're like a lame duck.
I know, I'm a lame duck at this point.
Yeah. What's that like?
It was like Joe Biden.
Just do what
And now, just enjoying the week and watching everybody do their things. That's what it's like. It's been good to observe. You know, it's been good to observe, but to be able to sit back and just the year's work is now coming to fruition.
Well, as someone on the same board cycle as you, coming on the same time, it's been a good 4 years.
Yeah.
It's been a learning experience.
Yeah.
But I think it's been great to serve with you. So.
You know, I've also served a lot of years on the HECC board. I'm in the middle of my second term, and I've had a lot of presidents, and I think you've done a wonderful job. I'm not just saying that.
President number one here.
You're definitely pushing things, and always appreciate your willingness to jump on the podcast. I know it was new in the last year, and, you know, Kyle and I kind of helped spin that up, Kyle mostly, and he's moved on to greener, better pastures, and we brought on the amazing Diana. So I'm excited about have a new team here for this year, and as always at the beginning of HECC, there's lots of questions because it's a big animal. It's in this old historic building that has lots of nooks and crannies, and some nooks and crannies I still haven't explored. But I was in that closet looking for power earlier. That's an interesting closet.
There's a couple of spaces.
So we'll ask you some questions about HECC to help our attendees for this year.
Absolutely.
Definitely we have some first-time attendees because I remember way back when it first got moved over here, being a first attendee, trying to find things.
Oh, my first year here, I didn't know where anything was.
Going to the hotel side or the grand hall side via the stairs, or my preferred method is just walk outside
mine too.
and walk across the street. But, so here we go. First up, I'm going to go with, you know, I'm a man that loves to eat. So tell us a little bit about lunch today. That all kind of changed in the near to distant past.
Yeah. So this year, buffet style lunches for everything. So rather than, you know, our box lunches, which we got rid of last year, and I think the feedback was good. We did a buffet last year, and I think the feedback was good on that. And so doing that again, but expanding it a little bit more, kind of changing the options up a little bit this year. So there's some stuff. So today's pasta, and it's the full realm, right? So you've got your pasta, you've got gluten free. There's some vegetarian options. There are some sauces and salads and breads and other things in addition. It is, and it's all you can eat. So there's no excuse to walk away hungry.
Now, make sure you leave time for lunch. That's the one.
Yeah.
It's not really built in, right? So you actually have to kind of build that time.
Don't book a 2-hour session over lunch and then. Yeah. But lunch runs from 11 to 1.
1:30.
1:30. So there's a long time for lunch, which is also great too.
That's
you can sit down,
sit there, and eat lunch if you went the whole time too.
You can network. Yeah, it's a good opportunity just to sit. So certainly would encourage that. It's again, feedback's good, and hopefully the feedback from pasta bars works out well for us.
You know, it's always interesting as you move forward and changes happen in an organization. We're going to get close to where we have some new members that started last year that don't remember the box lunches. Right? They don't know what they missed.
There will be dessert too, so it's not just pasta. There's always dessert. The cookies were always great in the box lunches, and those are still going to be present. Just don't take 30 of them.
So we hear a lot about the HECC app. Why should an attendee download and use the HECC app?
Yeah, this is one of the things, just working registration this morning as people were coming in, continually mentioning Make sure you have the app. Make sure you have the app. The question we get, where's Edison North? Well, if I know where my session is, I can click on the room number, and it's going to pull open a map, and it's going to say, here's exactly where your room is. But, whether it's looking at your sessions that you've already scheduled online, and they're syncing every couple of minutes, maybe it's looking for specific vendors you wanted to talk with or partners for your school district organization. Maybe it's just connecting with some of the speakers. If you want to play the gamification, we're going to play that on there. So there's gamification going on. Make sure you meet the HECC Board President. Check out the leaderboard.
And in a little bit,
I think the leader right now, he's on.
The leader is insane. I don't know how that guy has gotten so many points, but he's winning. The conference hasn't even started yet.
We'll flash up a code for the podcast. If you
Yes,
love the podcast.
yes.
So keep watching us, and you can get that later.
Yeah, and you'll get some codes at each of the sessions at the ends of the sessions that you've attended. So if they're part of the game, so just watch that.
My little ad for that app is if you click on the top right button, it shows a digital version of your tag. So if you're trying to have people scan you at booths or different things, it's a good option if you've got this buried because
people have things in front of you, right?
Stuffing stuff in there.
This is my
for safe
favorite
storage.
lanyard at a conference because I can, if I get a sticker or something small, I can keep a pen on there. I love these.
I've had employees in the past use this as their badge at work too. They can walk around because they can stuff everything in. My phone goes in the back, my name tagging on the front.
Punch down tool,
Yeah,
screwdriver.
all kinds of things. It's like a little tool belt.
So speaking of questions we always get asked as board members, you've already addressed one, Edison, North and South.
Yep.
What about bathrooms? Where do we find bathrooms in these places?
Let's talk bathrooms. There's bathrooms all over the place, and there's some hidden bathrooms too. But on the hotel side, right, as you're walking in the lobby, there's some restrooms. If you go back towards 123 West, if you walk in further towards the rooms, there's bathrooms on either side, and actually on either end of the wing as well. Here on the Union Station side, the bathrooms are right behind the registration desk. And then there's some bathrooms in the very far back corner of the vendor hall as well.
Lots of options.
Lots of
You
options.
guys find them.
Yeah, and if you know where Edison North is, there's some restrooms on the very top of the Union Station Grand Hall too.
Well, and while you're
Those are secret ones. Those are
There are
secret restrooms.
There should be like gamification codes.
Yeah. That's a good idea for tomorrow.
Oh, tell by
Flush
door, they'll be
24
all
or something.
over it.
Wash your hands.
So while you're exploring for the bathrooms, there's something else you could look for here at the conference, and that is those elusive drop boxes. We stash those all around the vendors.
And they change every day where they're at. Yeah, the drop boxes are anything. One, obviously, you put your ticket in there, and we draw a name, and somebody wins some cash. Usually at the end of the day, $25 or something, right? So there's
The shot at the Plinko board.
Oh, it's the Plinko board. That's right, the Plinko board. And that's up to 100. Yeah, depending on where.
We won 100 last year.
Yeah.
And we'll announce that through the app and on social media too, I think, as to
Yes,
who
there's another reason.
who that person is. So we can draw the app because you get those notifications. But those are great opportunities. We also use the drop boxes to highlight some vendors and help draw some people back to some spaces and to highlight not just our metal vendors, but our metal sponsors, but also, again, others who've been with the conference for many years and they love where they're at. They love connecting with people. So, there's 3 drop boxes, right? So there's going to be one in the Grand Hall, one on the opposite side, and then there's one on the hotel side as well.
Now, as you're winding down your presidency, what would be your favorite task that you were able to do as president? What's your takeaway? Your one big.
I don't know as president from a task standpoint. I don't know if I've got one. As a board member, one of my favorite things to do is work registration. I just love to kind of see people come in, both the new attendees, the veterans, say hi. I think from a face-to-face standpoint, on the hotel side, especially, not so much over here because the lines are crazy, but on the hotel side, we get to see everybody, talk to everybody, say hello to everybody. So that's really nice to be part of. As president, honestly, the favorite task is just attending board meetings and watching the conversation. We had that podcast earlier in the year after our retreat, and just the conversation, the nature of the new ideas, the feedback that we've all collected from people from around the state, those who we network with.
It really is
it's
a
been
great
great.
board, and I think people need to know how much thought goes into the feedback form, that we do discuss that.
We spend several hours just looking at feedback.
Yeah, and try to improve this conference year over year, and I think it's a lot of it, and to build off of your registration piece, I always think it's a great time. Yeah, you come up here and you get to shake hands and talk to people that you may email year round on the listserv, or know their name. You may not even be emailing them, but they answer your problems on the listserv, or you know of them, and you're like, oh, they're kind of like your superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be Taylor, but
Right.
but
we are
pretty
in our
close
tech
to me,
era.
right?
Yeah, we're in our tech era.
I think that's the pride. This board takes a lot of pride in maintaining this conference and building and growing, and that's always been nice to see. But it's always also something I've been so grateful to be a part of as a board member, and get to work with other people around the state and share that time.
Yeah, the HECC conference truly is a legacy conference. So we're coming up on your 40 here in another, I think 2026 is our 40th anniversary. So.
Be a good time to bring back box lunches.
Yes, no, it would not. We're not going to do that. But it'd be a good time to bring back some retro tools. That'd be some cool opportunities.
Speaking of tools,
We talk about, before we get to that, 40th anniversary, bring your oldest tool back. Maybe there's a prize for people who can bring their tools back. People are going to bring back the original Chromebooks from way back when, and your iPods and.
I think one of the first ones we really did give out a flash drive. Like, it was new tech flash drive.
Yeah.
wow,
So,
really?
yeah. So if I remember right, now Kyle's done a really good job on the
You're good.
website. There's a list on the website of all the tools now, and it's fun to scroll through.
Yeah, Brad Hag is a good tech historian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He keeps it all straight.
OG.
OG.
So
Yeah.
Back to the tool.
Back to the tool. This year's tool is what, Seth? Tell us about it.
So this year's tool is a ViewSonic portable. There it is. ViewSonic portable laptop monitor. One of the things that we talked about from a tool standpoint is lots of years we do a toy. Lots of years we do this classroom tool. This year it's a functional tool. It's a tool that again everybody can use, whether it's at your home office, it's while you're traveling here at the conference. Having a second monitor is, again, from a tech director standpoint, is always ask, can I get a second monitor? For us, we got these tools as our boardroom monitors because they're portable. I can drop them in and they can zoom in, zoom out, they can touch them, they can kind of click around. So
the touchscreen function.
The
really
touchscreen
brings a lot
function
to it.
is huge.
I drop a couple into some elementary rooms, and they can make centers out of them in the back of the room, and turn our non-touchscreen Chromebooks into touchscreens, right? And it's had some functionality, and you don't have to have every Chromebook be a touchscreen that way, be in a center, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean it's a portable monitor, so as long as you've got a cable, suddenly you've got digital displays all over the place. It is plug and play for the most part. So it's great. It's super useful. Hopefully everybody can get some use out of it. Unlike I think some tools in the past that have been really fun and they've had some really good classroom applications, but they haven't necessarily always had that same functional use for every attendee. And this is one that we hope that every attendee can get some value out of.
So, kind of thinking about moving forward, immediately the conversation, we're already starting to talk, what can we do better next year? That starts immediately during this year's conference. So, knowing that Greg Davis is our incoming president, what is a piece of advice that you would have for him?
Yeah, Greg and I talked quite a bit about just what is the role of president? What do you do? What is their plan for? And honestly, we talk legacy. So much of what we're doing is a carry forward of what we've done in the past. And there's not, and I don't want to say there's not a lot to improve, but there are very small tweaks, whether it's something to our schedule or our agendas or our meetings. I really think that, in terms of being president, one of the greatest pieces of feedback is to do, we were talking about sit and watch. Let the conference do the conference and not try to necessarily lead in a way of, it's not my conference as president. I'm just another member of the board. It's the board's conference. It's the conference that, again, without our attendees, it wouldn't exist. Without our vendors, it wouldn't exist. And so building those partnerships, I think I've had a really good opportunity this year to work with vendors because of the president title, who I never would have worked with before, and to build those relationships. And so, we talk about sponsorships. There were several new sponsors this year because of some partner relationships that I've developed over the year. Because, hey, you know what? I know you want in the conference. I know there's a long wait list, but hey, we've got the sponsorship available, and you can be right in the Grand Hall if you want to do it. And so we've got several new medal sponsors because of that. And so I think being able to just build upon those relationships, do some networking, get to know the vendors, and just continue to develop those. So again, we can continue to have a successful conference. But
a lot of moving parts behind the scenes.
there's so much going on.
Right.
There's so much going on.
I think over the past several presidencies, yours included, as a board, we've done a really good job of putting some systems in place to truly make sure that it stays and goes as a legacy. As it's turning 40, some faces that come and go on the board and left some big holes. And I think we got some big shoes that
We do.
we're filling.
But from a processes and systems, succession planning, like we talk about leadership all the time, that's something there's not a void in succession planning with our conference, largely because of the board, largely because of the experience, the historical knowledge that the board brings in. You've got your newbies, then you've got your Brad Hicks, and others who've been on the board on and off for every bit of 20, 25 years. So there's a lot of that, and that again, that
A lot
helps
of
make
love
the
to see
conference
HECC
what it is.
continue. A lot of love.
Absolutely.
So we'll make sure it's here long after we're gone,
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
which is awesome. So what about traditions at HECC for you? Do you have any must-do traditions at HECC? Any hidden gems, attend, look out for our attendees?
The hidden gems. One thing that I love to do at the start of the conference or at some point during the conference is come up to the third floor of the Grand Hall, not just to go to the exit rooms, but to walk the entire loop and to look, to be under the stained glass windows, to look out. And this is a beautiful building. And it's not always perfectly suited for a conference,
Right.
the way ours is set up with the rooms and where they are. But vendors always say, man, this is the most beautiful conference hall we've ever been in. And
There's
I think
something about that view looking down on the Grand
the
Hall.
sunlight shining through. And I think, too, one of the things attendees miss, I know I missed as an attendee, is I did look around. I was going from room to room to room to room, where I talked to partners and being on the board and kind of being in this space, even where we're having the podcast right now, you miss the beauty of the space. And so just being able to pause, I think, is a neat thing that most people don't do.
And it's easy to miss that the third floor actually walks all the
Yeah.
way on the room.
Because you come up the stairs, you go into your rooms, you go back out, because you got another session. Check it out. This is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool place.
Beautiful place.
I don't know if I've got anything else.
Something else. All
From a
right.
hidden gem standpoint.
There's still some hidden gems around here. There's some different things. I like some of the other rooms on the hotel side too. You go over there and look at the history. So one of my favorite hidden gems on the hotel side, if you look at the steel beams, they're actually stamped Carnegie steel from when they were made by Carnegie and Company.
No kidding.
You can find the stamping marks on them, which is for a history guy like me. I like that kind of stuff. So
There's little things around this building though that we were in here Monday setting up, and because of all the curtains, you don't see the walls. And so without the curtains up, there's plaques all over this space, all the historical markers and different things, and you'd never know it because the curtains are covering so much of it. But it's neat to see, again, the history, when the trains run, some of those different signs that can reveal a little bit about the space. Yeah.
we got a rapid fire question for you.
All right, I'll do my best.
All right, so here we go. Favorite tech tool?
Oh, rapid fire. I like the 360 cameras when we got those.
Yeah.
Those were
got one right over there. We're taking a picture here in a minute.
yeah, those were cool cameras. I got it sitting in my office. We did some fun things with it, kind of mapping out our buildings early in the Google Maps era.
Yeah.
Kind of doing some new things, pictures, and
One of the great tools that Google killed off,
Yeah.
right? Map maker.
yeah,
I remember I had
the
a
Theta camera, right? The Theta 360. Yeah.
I had like a tackle box that was full of old iPhone 5s. I found it the other day in a storage room. It's like, we could probably recycle these.
Yeah, from
I don't. Maybe I'll reissue them on April 1st.
Get the old Google cardboards, right? Those sorts of things. Yeah.
What's the best coffee spot near HECC, near the conference site?
I'm not gonna lie, I like the coffee here at the hotel, but I've heard Georgia Grind is pretty good. I've never been there. I've never walked down the street to get there. Yeah, but I like the coffee here. I think the Grand Bar is nice.
Yeah.
The Grand Bar is good. So
When I was first coming to the HECC conference, I didn't even know that the Grand Bar existed and that there was breakfast and coffee in there. I didn't know that until I was a board member.
it's a fun little hangout spot
It
too.
is. It's so pretty in there.
And that's just right in the main doors, and you turn left as you're coming in, or just off of the Grand Hall.
Yep.
Ask somebody in one of these beautiful green
Green
shirts.
shirts.
We'll make sure you find that Grand Bar. It's worth going to see the Grand Bar, even if the breakfast is put up
Yeah, absolutely.
there. So, back in the day when we had box lunch, it was more of a thing. The lunch here is really good now that we've gone to hot lunch, in my opinion. But if you were not going to eat lunch at HECC,
Kilroy's
where would you?
Breadsticks.
You have to think about
Kilroy's
it.
Breadsticks. Go straight there. Their lunch deal, the pick two, get a half order of breadsticks and something else. I went yesterday actually, and I had a great. What did I have? Chicken salad. It was awesome.
Do you know if it's true? I've always heard if you stay in the Homewood Suites, it's right next to it, you can get breadsticks as room service.
I don't know. If you're watching the podcast and you're staying at the Homewood Suites, you need to tell us.
Yeah, let us know that.
And then by finding that out, you just need to order them to your room because they're worth it.
Yeah. They are. They're good. Those are good.
Got a couple more questions here. We're going to run
All
out
right,
of
let's
time
go.
before we get all our questions asked. But everybody has a tech horror story. Would you be willing to share one of your tech horror stories, the experience of that fail or that what happened? And
It's not a tech horror story. It's a conference horror story. 2016, probably my third or fourth, fifth year coming to the conference. Went to downtown. Is Dino, DYNO. I don't know if there's maybe still exists. They used to be a sponsor. They had an evening session or an evening event at their offices, and it was like 10 blocks away. So we walked over there and got in the elevator. Everybody was coming up and down. It was great. Got in the elevator. There were 6 or 7 of us in the elevator. Didn't move. Doors shut. Doors wouldn't open. Shut down power. We were in there for an hour.
find out real quick if you lost the phone.
Well, then now we start talking tech. Like, did the 911 call work? Like, well, was the address correct on the call, which it was not. And so they're, where are you at? Well, I don't know, we're downtown. We don't know where the. So we were there an hour trying to get the dispatcher to get us to the right place to fire people could come in, and eventually texting got us to
That's good.
the Dino people, and they got in touch with their landlord who came and locked the door, and we got out. But yeah, all the food was gone by the time we got upstairs.
But really, when you think about it, if you did get stuck in an elevator and you had no means of communication and that car never moves, how would anybody know?
How would anybody know?
It's kind of spooky when you think on it.
You know, a lot of times you get in an elevator and your cell phone doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
Even in modern times where we're always connected.
You're in a big metal box.
You're in a big metal box, so.
I mean, worst case
Check those
scenario,
hotlines.
when you pick up the phone, you can't send a fax. 'Cause
Thank goodness for it. Carrie's Law now that has the right address has to be tied to that phone line. So
right.
Yeah.
So,
what else?
One more.
That's right.
Thinking about what is something that people might not realize goes on behind the scenes at that conference. Because as an attendee, we're so busy going to session, we don't see a lot of the things. What's something behind the scenes?
Well, we can talk, board meetings for one. We meet every couple of months, at least every 2 months, every 6 weeks or so. There's a lot of planning that goes on, obviously. But when you talk about just the space, the amount of work that goes into Monday, Tuesday, to turn this from what we walked in Monday, it was set up for a wedding, and they were tearing down the wedding from Sunday afternoon. Obviously Taylor Swift and all that stuff, especially this year, but just the tear down and the setup that happens in 12 hours is incredible.
pretty fun to watch.
It is fun to watch, and it's
Clockwork.
Yeah,
Right? You know where things are.
and just kind of the guys pull out blueprints and every single Shepherds is setting things up, and all of the stuff that got delivered is now set up those booths. Things get delivered to those booths, and they're laying down carpet, and they're putting up tables, and then just that work. And when they walk out, and then the crowd kind of takes over, and then everything just gets whitewashed and cleaned. It's pretty cool to kind of see that side. And then obviously the board side, setting up power and making sure things are there. It does.
Stuffing those bags.
Stuffing bags.
Everyone back touched by a board member.
Every badge gets touched. Every piece of paper in this, in the space gets touched. It's a lot of work, but again, it's great to have camaraderie. We talked about one of the things that's really cool being on the board is there's a lot of great conversation that happens when we're stuffing bags for 2.5 hours, putting paper in or folding things, and that's kind of neat too. Just to, again, sit and listen and just watch. This is what the board does, and obviously the board here, conference starts today. Session started at 9, and we were up and going at 6, and that's the case every single day of the conference. Whether it's just setting things up or getting systems running or checking with vendors and other people that are coming in.
We've got a lot of great members on the board that spend a lot of time outside of just the meetings getting things done.
Yeah.
Big shout out to all of them.
Yeah, Kyle and Jenna and Jay and John and Scott just put in so much work to make this a success. We're talking thousands of emails back and forth with different people just to.
And I'm always amazed at how easy they make it look. And it is such a mountain of work that they take on in addition to their everyday tasks.
Oh, it's nothing.
And they just,
Do it with a smile.
But again, processes and systems, right? So all of that helps
Everywhere.
make it a little easier. So, yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us here today. And if you got any last minute words for our.
I hope everyone gets the conference. This is it's a great year, great weather. It's already got a great experience. It does. There's a lot of excitement.
Lots of smiles.
Nice to see those faces coming in the door.
Not everybody was tired. We'll see how everybody does tomorrow morning. And then Friday, I'll give out high fives to people.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm going to flash the code up for those of you that are doing the gamification. There's the code for today's podcast.
I think you already have that one turned in.
I don't have this one turned in.
I'm going to immediately get off here and see if I can get Flush 24 to be a code.
Yeah, there you go. Well, this is exciting. It's great to be back at Union Station and Crown Plaza. And thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, guys. This is awesome.
We're excited. We'll be back at 3 today. We're going to have Diana Smith and Matt White from the DOE.
Can't wait.
We've been talking this for a while, so it's going to be a good afternoon session. So enjoy your first day at HECC, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
That's right.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.